Are we live?
We are live. I just got a notification.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the No Nonsense live stream. How is everyone today? I hope you're well. I hope your health is in order. Today, I'd like to talk about science, the new religion. Let me preface by saying I was and admire science and what they've done over the decades and centuries to where we are today for advances in medicine, technology, all kinds of stuff, right? To what we know about everything. With that being said, I also know that it's become this go to alternative to people who once adhered to their beliefs in religion, right? Now, I grew up Catholic, okay? And a lot of people that I've met around my age, maybe even my father, have a lot of contempt for modern religion because of whatever their experience was. We all know about priests and children. We all know about corruption. We all know about people not adhering to their beliefs and just kind of tax fronts. And especially now with churches that are reopening, trying to wear masks, which to me doesn't really follow your belief system too well. So when people didn't like that, like myself, when I grew up, like I grew up with a belief in God, right? Catholic. I went to CCD. I did the religious ed classes. I did all that as a kid. I was confirmed, first communion, all that stuff, right? And if you're Catholic, you know what that is. But I never liked going to church, right? I hated it. I never got the message. I never got the feeling. I never felt like it was where I should be going in order to be connected spiritually. I just never thought so. So, as the years rolled on, I grew to have a lot of contempt for the church and Christianity and all this stuff, and especially Western American Christianity because it's full of a bunch of shit. And I like to call it out. So I veered away from that. I didn't become like an atheist, but there was a point, a low point in my life where I was borderline, where I was like, there's no God or anything. And I did because of a lot of alcohol. But and I clinged back then to what I considered to be the truth, which was the science world. Science, psychology, psychiatry. I was really into that when I was a teenager, like in high school. I wanted to be like a psychologist or a therapist. Go figure. I thought that like okay, since church didn't work for me, I thought like man, this is the way. These guys can explain it all. There's definitely aliens, right? Then some things happened in my life and I had to reevaluate my entire belief system and I came to this conclusion that you know, why am I willing to believe this but not that? I learned I was very closed-minded to some things. I was clinging to science as an alternative to my religion, even though I was doing the same thing with science that religion was doing, like follow our way if you're not, like we're experiencing right now. Right now, we're experiencing science as a new religion because if, God forbid, you question the information that's being presented to you during this whole thing, by thing, C word, you know, God forbid if you question any of it, right? We just got to take it all. And here the thing is, for months now, we've gotten pumped full of tons of just flooded with information, misinformation of all kinds, right? From everywhere, media, blah 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 blah, science, medical professionals, and the opposing side to a lot of science. There have been people come out, but they're not allowed to speak. And I know the scientific method is supposed to be in place to because it's forever constantly changing as new information presents itself, right? Science, a lot of things are based in just scientific theory. They're not proven. Just like I can have 1,000 ideas, right? I can have theories, but I have to prove them. Otherwise, it's possible. You know, it's a concept, it's an idea, it's maybe like the Big Bang theory. But stuff like the Big Bang Theory has been taught to be truth. And I don't believe it's necessarily truth. It's still a theory because we can't prove it. It's just, it makes sense. We'll expand it billions of years. But the reason science has become its new religion is because you can't question stuff. We're seeing, like, right now, the fall of actual religion in the Western world, America, like churches closing, all this stuff because they were, tax shelters, all that stuff. We know this, right? No pay taxes. We can agree on that. And now, since they're not getting their money, they're bending to the will of something that isn't God to them. It's the government, the state, wherever it is. Not all churches, I'm not saying across the board, but a good chunk of them are. Like those mega churches or big churches that have big fancy lights and a sound stage and the pastor's coming out with a shield on his face. You probably should find a new church if you can. But if you're a spiritual person, you don't need a brick and mortar place to be spiritual, have a connection with your higher power, God. You don't. I know this. I believe the divine is within all of us. We have that choice of heaven or hell every day. You can choose heaven or hell. It's up to you to decide what that is for your life. I've had a lot of hell. I know what it looks like. I've had a lot of heaven. Joy, misery, take your pick. But I see as of late, especially the last several months, is that we're clinging to a lot, not we, but people are clinging to science as like the end all be all, like this is the way. And that's dangerous. Religion did that. If you look into history, the dark ages of religion, they did that. Witch hunts, Spanish Inquisition, Crusades, in the name, like if you start getting crazy in the name of science, it's just you're repeating history, but you're just relabeling things with new terms. That's all it is. You know, germ theory is now like a passage in the Bible. This is the word of science. Dr. Fauci is our prophet. You know what I mean? And you got to be careful with that. And then a lot of people are like, well, this guy's so accredited. He's been doing this for decades. It's like, great. He's an opinion. Like, would you really trust a person with one person for the entire world of all of your well-being? See, your health is your responsibility. There have been opposing scientists. This is why I respect the people who are actually living the scientific community like the way it should be, which is as new information presents itself, we question our theory or hypothesis or whatever and go from there. But see, the thing I've learned is that science is just as corrupt as politics is. Why? Think about like the 20th century when you get these people who come out with these scientific breakthroughs, right? They spent their life's work putting into motion these things that we believe to be true. They become known for it. It's their name. A person's ego, a man's pride is his enemy. They spent their life making a name for themselves based on whatever theory they've come up with. Einstein, right? Theory of relativity, gravity, all this shit, right? Einstein, married his cousin. Not necessarily a moral man. But it's still a theory, right? It's not proven. But somewhere along the line, somebody can like put it in the books of teachings of public schools and this and that. We all believe it to be true and we regurgitate the information. I went to the same schools everybody else did for public education, and I was taught the same things, and I just recited the answers. It didn't mean I understood the material, but maybe I knew the right answer for what was supposed to be the right answer at the time. Turns out, might not be the right answer, guys, because it's not necessarily true. It's a theory. But when you take theory and put it as convince it's a law, right? There's laws of science that you can't argue with. Put your head underwater too long, you're gonna drown. Law. There's no theory about that. You'll die, right? So it's dangerous today. I see a lot of danger in people who now it seems like a lot of people who have broken away from religion, and I'm not saying go find a religion because I never liked church anyway, but I also understand why church needs to be in place, and the abolishment of it is not good for society as a whole, which a lot of people, I used to think the country and the world, to be honest, would have been better without any church or religion. I did. I thought it was all just, you had to do everything on your own well-being. You had to, Just pick up, just do it all yourself. And then I was wrong. And the reason it's in place is people need to come together where they can share honesty, love, fellowship, right? And there's a lot of places people don't know where to go, so church is an option, right? Maybe they are just people showing up, not really believing any of it, but still, once it's gone, they don't know where to turn for their moral compass. Science isn't a moral compass. I want to know what to call it, because theories aren't really morals. You know what I mean? Morals to me derive from like universal truths and principles, like the way the world is. So lately, we've been seeing with the whole mask crap and what's been going on with the C word, people just like, I love the arguments when people come up and they're like, they say, blah, 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 doob, doob, that's science. And it's like, can you explain it to me? Because I don't think you can. I think you regurgitated some information that you Googled because now you're trusting that as to be the correct answer. But you yourself do not know how to break that down for me to understand. If you cannot break it down for me to understand without regurgitating stuff, I don't want to listen to you. That's why, when you're getting one source, like the Dr. Fauci is a great example. There's one guy telling us all what's best for us. CDC, all this crap. Then you got multiple doctors, fucking medical field professionals coming out going, this is bullshit. And here's why. Because the stuff they know is fundamental shit they learned in like their early years of education when they were becoming doctors and scientists. But they're being told they can't share that because it doesn't fit what they're trying to do. And why can't you ask questions with science? Why can't you're supposed to question everything? Question it. I have a theory of this. Great. Question it. People just take it at face value. It's science. Everything's upside down right now. People used to shun church for being like, do it our way or else. What do you think people are doing today? Like, dude, listen to science or else we're going to kill you or you're stupid. I'm not going to be your friend anymore. And it's like, you realize the thing you used to fight against, like if you were like anti-church and stuff, you're doing the same thing, but you're doing it now with science. It's the same thing churches and religion did for centuries. Now you're just repeating it, but with a new term. It's the same shit, guys. It's called dogma. It's not healthy. That's why I don't like to claim to be like I do spiritual things in my life, but I don't adhere to anything because I went from wanting to get rid of all religion to the understanding of why having a power greater than yourself, God, if you will, is a good thing to have in life. And without it, you're kind of just trusting everything into man, which is not good because man is easily corrupted. Easily. And scientists, like I said earlier, are just as easily corrupted as a politician. You get a guy who spent his life work coming up with a theory, right? And decades of recognition, accolades, publishings, right? Getting put into history books and being taught at, say, college level stuff. This is being taught to the up and coming scientists of the world. And then somewhere, a person who's a critical thinker comes along and finds some information that totally turns that theory upside down on its head. But they're not heard. Why? Because that threatens that scientist's way of life. See, it's all about a way of life. Everybody's fine until your way of life is threatened. You don't give a fuck about how this world is until it's knocking on your door. Right? Like, yeah, fucking, that's stupid. This is great. No, fuck, no, we're doing. Until it comes to you. And then when it's you, now it's your problem because, again, it's about you. But when it doesn't affect you, you don't care. But the minute it does, of course you care. We all do. I do. It's just how we are. Your way of life becomes threatened. So a theory comes up for these scientists. You don't think they get paid to push shit just like politicians? Ye with the most money gets the prize. Guys, corruption is everywhere. You think defund the police means not letting them go? No. It means their pensions are going bye-bye. Police, firefighters, all of that. It's about money, guys. Money, power, accolades. Human men in their Men and pattern of means, motives, opportunity. So power, greed, lust, all this stuff has a part to play in that. So I question science. Like I used to be like, dude, it's not the way. In my experience, just for me, I've come full circle on this based on some shit that's happened in my life, some experiences, some choices I made, and a commitment to telling and speaking truth and being honest with myself and other people has shown me a way that science can't explain. You know what I mean? And it's just it's just different, and it makes me question what I'm being told. As is this accurate? You know, I don't believe Dr. Fauci, but I also don't believe he might not be inherently evil. He might just be a guy who thinks he's doing the right thing. That's why institutions, organizations are all bad, right? A hospital in itself is a place of death and sickness. It's bad. But the people that are working within it aren't necessarily good or evil. They're just people doing what they got to do, right? Maybe there's a couple of fucking egomaniacs in there who just want accolades and the praise. You go, oh, Dr. Beebe-doo. And you're like, okay. And the nurse just wants to sleep with the doctor so she can move up a peg. You know, that happens. It happens. There's that. But theories are just theories. They have to be proven. And a lot of stuff in the science community is still in theory mode that you think is proven. You know, germ theory. You know, these aren't laws. They haven't been proven. They're ideas and concepts, but have been taught so much over the decades that we assume that they're true because we were taught that. But yet we never question it on an individual level and said, is that true? And then when people do, when fresh scientists who are actually committed to that way of life come up and go, hey, I found some information here that totally fucks with what you're saying. And people just go, no, 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 no. They get real. I mean, this corruption goes up and up and up the ladders, man. So if you're like me, who's just a working class fella, we have it the best. We do. You don't want to go up that chain. I find the higher you go up that pyramid, the worse it gets for everybody, because then you can't be honest with yourself. You have to start pleasing this group or that person, this person. The higher you go up the chain of command, the more weird bullshit you have to deal with. Science community, medical community, any community, right? That's just the way it is. That's how human beings work. We work on a hierarchical pyramid. You gotta. The thing with science that people I've realized is they're very they want a short-term answer. Like when everything went down these last few months and fucking information is just flooding you. You're getting flooded. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Wash your hands 1,000 times. Don't wash your hands. It's on the surface. It's not on the surface. This is all designed to fuck with your head. It's designed to keep you in a state of like, what the fuck is going on? So while that curtain of illusion is there, there's more shit going on behind the background that you don't see. And it's one thing after another, guys. Coin shortage, you know, food shortage, all this stuff. Beta testing you to see what, you know, how well do humans do with this shit. Like, what's their boiling point? We're a science experiment right now. Like, where are we being tested, right? It's science. Mid to long-term goals is what I'm into today. So people always look for the short-term fix. Like, okay, if I just wear the mask for 2 weeks, I'll be able to go back and watch my sports and jerk off in front of the computer and everything will be fine. No, that's short-sighted stuff. 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 4, we're on 5, going on 6. You can keep lying to yourself. I don't. That's why I love sharing stuff when the truth comes out, whether anybody believes what I say or not. It's just I'm honest with myself so I can see this stuff coming a mile away. I take in this information from all that. And a lot of people work in these fields and that's all their perception is, right? It's like they think they're doing a good thing. And this is why I love the science community, but I don't think it should be the religion. And true scientists know this, that come out and say, hey, if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. I don't know. This is just my theory. Here we go. Here's some information. This is what I've discovered. And that's how it's supposed to be. But today, it seems like people are making science its own. It is its own religion. Let's be honest. It's its own religion. It's not even a question anymore. It's like, you believe us, and then people will criticize and mock those who are like, well, like the Amish, for example, who have a really strong belief system in God and not even having electricity, and they follow it. I respect that, and I've said this before. I respect people's belief system if they live it. I think that's where American Christianity went wrong, is because people just dressed nice and went to church on Sunday, but they didn't believe what they were hearing. Weren't putting, not everybody, but a lot of people weren't putting into practice those beliefs. They thought, like, I just show up once a week, I'm good. Not true. You have to live shit. Like, for me, 4 principles I live by: honesty, truth, faithfulness, loyalty. Those are Matt's principles. That's what I've adopted to my life. And by living those principles, it guides me in a more spiritual sense, not a material sense, to the point where I don't make material things my sole go-to in life, because I don't care. So I've had them, I've not had them. It doesn't matter to me anymore. I just like enjoying life today and trying to offer solutions to people's problems that are always within the head and not necessarily at the reality of things. Like, today's a beautiful day outside. It's beautiful out. 80 degrees, sunshine, it's nice. Good summer day. The world's fine. But when you get on the internet again and you start reading articles, you think it's on, the whole world's on fire. It's not. Okay? Excuse me? So you gotta try to think stuff through. When it comes to the mask wearing stuff, right? I don't wear one. I've already explained what happens in the store. Nothing happens. People already know it's bullshit. People are getting sick, passing out at work. I've had frontline conversations with people in a hospital, the grocery store, Target. It's not what you think it is. So where have you gotten your information from? A Google search? And you're not there. You know what I mean? And I know there's people I know that are working in the hospital, like, no, it was really serious at one point. I'm like, it's not right now. So you keep wearing the muzzle. Try to have love and tolerance, which I do. And I say this, I don't wish harm upon people. The reason I come up with this stuff is because I'd like to speak my thoughts. And also, I know I've been lied to over my life from everywhere. So I believe it's really important and healthy for an individual to question everything that's presented to them. Question everything I say. Don't care. Look into this stuff for yourself. Do it. Go ahead. Don't take my word for it. It's fine. I'm just a guy with an opinion. That's what I've been saying since day one of the inception of my channel. Is I say I'm just a guy with an opinion. But I have an informed opinion. I don't just go, oh, I Google searched it, that's it. I look into stuff to verify, like, how true is it? And the truth comes out. Talking about pedophiles months ago, look at all this Hollywood shit happening. Ellen DeGeneres, everything's going down. People are like, well, you don't know. I'm like, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors in anybody's home, a celebrity's home or your home. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors in my home. It's like, nobody knows that but you and God. So, hope you're right with them. Matt, are you getting religious on me? No, I'm just saying, like, if you trade one thing for another, like, I was borderline atheist a long time ago. I was like, there's no fucking God, it's just people. I'm like, okay, if it's just people, then we realize, let's go with that. And just for sake of argument, let's say it's just people running the world, all right? We're so fucking smart. We created the Industrial Revolution. We're brilliant. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I don't know where I was going with that. We're so smart, we're stupid. The industrial, I don't know. That's a dead end for me. I don't even want to talk about it. Science. People say there are people who can't explain it to you. Oh yeah, there we go. I already talked about that. Ask questions, misinformation. Right. That's the biggest key, is when you identify information that you know now it was fucking wrong, and you still go, well, maybe I'm still gonna do it. Like, what's going on in your head? How fucking far gone are you? It's like, don't be a lemming. It's like, I don't wish harm upon people, And I've said this before, if you don't heed the warnings or take action on your part, you get what you deserve. You know, there's ways around this stuff. There's solutions to this problem. Take your own health seriously. It's on you to exercise, eat right, put good shit into your mind. Stop watching porn. Stop fucking jerking off all day if you're a man or a woman. It's not healthy. It's not good to be your own sex partner. I know, right? If you want a relationship, do what's necessary for that relationship. And what that depends is how the person you're with. We've all been brainwashed by like what, movies, TV, and some cultural bullshit of what we think is supposed to be a successful relationship. Men should lead. Women should complement men. Children do not get to say what the fuck goes in a household. Because here we are. It's like we have a bunch of adult children running around and letting the kids make up the decisions. No, it's not how it is. It's not how it was in my household. My dad whipped my ass. And good. In hindsight, as a grown-ass man now approaching 40, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad my father did that. Because it built my character and it taught me discipline in life. And I'm not saying go beat your kids. I'm saying like timeouts and just letting the kid get away with all the behavior, because children are very smart, man. They're smart. They figure out behavior real quick. They know what they can get away with. They're testing you all the time. You don't even see it. So question science. But I've seen a lot of people just adhering to it like this is the way, which obviously tells me they have no spiritual roots, or if they do, they're probably jaded and they haven't dealt with the pain of why they're so jaded, like by church or religion. Because I had it. I had it. I fucking hated church. Hated. I don't even want to go to church. I don't trust churches. And look at today. They all closed. Now they're coming back and they're like, you have to live 6 feet apart with a mask on. You're fucking out of your mind. You think I'm going to listen to you now? No. I didn't listen to you before. Definitely not now, though. And, however, I don't think that you should have the churches, if there's no spiritual grounding in our society, we are all in trouble. You have to think about, look outside your own personal thing. If you're an atheist or agnostic or you're a hardcore Christian, whatever you are, who cares? Without those fundamentals, man, of a moral standpoint, we're in trouble, because you need a compass. You need some point of origin, a guidance thing. If you don't have that, I mean, what do you think all your morals came from? Right? Your mom and dad, where did they come from? Religious teachings, guys. Principles, Greek philosophy, ancient Eastern wisdom. This stuff is not new. These are universal truths that have been passed down for generations. Okay? I don't know the truth about the world, neither do you. And if there is anyone who knows, they're not telling us. So I've accepted that. So how can you live the best life today? Have a family, have kids, love your family, and make your family unit strong. Be the best worker in your life, best brother, best lover, best husband, best boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. Be the best at whatever it is. Stop bitch moaning and complaining. But also, take hold that don't be so dependent on the world that makes everything convenient. Science has made everything convenient, right? Technology, beautiful stuff. Beautiful. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this thing right here. I don't need anything. I have everything I need right here if I just fucking type an app in, order something. Dude, don't be so dependent on that. Do you know how to grow a tomato? Do you know how to shoot a gun? Can you operate a fishing pole? You know what I mean? Why is that important? Because if you're so worried about death right now and you're willing to throw a tampon on your face, then you have to ask yourself, okay, well, that's what people tell me is going to save my life. Now imagine you can't get to any food from the grocery store. What are you going to do? You'll be dead very soon. Science can't help you with that. Well, I mean, I guess it can. You'll starve and die of dehydration. Within a week. Dead. Unless you decide to go drink from a river, but good luck. because you didn't appreciate the water distillery plant that takes care of all those fucking sewage treatment things where you're shitting in the river and take, you have to have a balance in this world, is what I've discovered, folks. A balance. Science is good, but it should not be looked at as the new religion, which it is today. It's being pedestaled up as this new religion. It's taking the place of, Christianity, Catholicism. People are really going, ah, yes. And that's what you do to people who can't seek truth for themselves and are lost. You give them something that, is easily corrupted by men, which is science and their lust for power and accolades, right? Who doesn't like praise, man? You never thought that way in your life? You never thought you were the shit because you did something awesome once? You did. Everybody's done that. We all grew up in this America. I know how Americans think. We've all got programmed with that shit. So the solution to that is let go of wanting that stuff, and you will get what you want and then some. And not only will you get what you want, you'll be grateful for it and you will enjoy it. The grateful attitude is where these things matter. I was an ungrateful son of a bitch at one point in my life. I took everything in it, people, places, things, stuff for granted. And I always wanted more because I was giving in to the vice of something, and that vice destroyed me spiritually, in a spiritual sense. It almost killed me, but I was able to turn it around through different actions, different behaviors. I had to. And when I started to practice these things and implement them into my life as a living, and my beliefs as a lifestyle, not as just, I know the fancy answers like, it says in the science book. I'm talking about like you have to live what you believe. If you believe science, great. But you don't understand it, probably. And I'm not saying that I can get in there and fucking understand it either. I'm saying when you come up with a theory and information that debunks and questions the narrative, the thing that we were taught to be true, it should be taken under consideration. Or it should at least be tested or looked at, right? And that's the scientific method. That's what science is. It shouldn't be its own religion. Like, we should only listen to Fauci. Because right now, what happened to everybody in 4 months? What happened to everybody without a church to go to where they needed some spiritual guidance, right? Oh, maybe they were God-fearing people, right? And they didn't have a place to go. You shut your doors. It's awful. I have no respect for any church to shut their doors, even though they thought they were doing the right thing. That's because you believe science and people were above God. And that sounds crazy from a guy who came in. I grew up Catholic, guys. I hated church and religion, but it doesn't mean I'm not a spiritual person. I hate the dogma of church. I hate the people who try to twist your every move and say this is this and that and do it this way, but then themselves are fucking children or doing something awful behind the scenes. And it's been, there's countless accounts of proven things. We know this as fact today. It's a fact. So it's on you as an individual to not hold the body of it in contempt, but like learn from the cores and learn the lessons in your own life and then apply it. And then you realize, like, for me, I have to have spiritual guidance in this world. Otherwise, I will do what Matt wants. And what Matt wants is very selfish, self-centered. It's not very selfless. The quickest way I could tell anybody to be more on a spiritual path is to become selfless. Do something and expect nothing in return. That's one of the easiest solutions to that. But if you do shit and you want praise, you want the pat on the back, you want people to look at you and go, oh my God, thank you so much. No, that's the wrong fucking way to go about it. When you become willing to do something for another person and not tell another soul and just know you did the right thing, and only that's between you and God. And if you do that, you're going to have a much healthier, joyful existence. Or you can do a bunch of shit for people and then run around and tell everybody you did a bunch of shit for people just so you can get your dick stroked and make your head a little bigger than it is. Ask yourself what your motives are. Are you hiding a bad motive with a good motive? These are all solutions to these problems. This will make your life better. Question science. I question science all the time. Because I used to pedestal it, like a lot of people are doing right now. I pedestaled it. I pedestaled science. I thought, this is the way. This will lead me to the light. No, it has its benefits, it has its uses, but it did not lead me to the light. To be honest, science fucking almost killed me. Science and medicine almost did. But I did it by willing choice. That's the thing. Science and medicine didn't necessarily kill me directly. It was because I chose to do the things that were suggested by them, but that was on me. See, I took responsibility for that. When I was on antidepressants and all this other shit, I took the guidance. Didn't work. Not even kind of close. Made me want to kill myself. So I don't trust it. But the other day when I rolled my ankle, thank you for ice and ibuprofen and a wrap. Because that's when I believe medical science does its job. So, but today, science seems to be the new religion. You can't question our theory. It's a theory. Yes, I can question it. Yes, you should question it too. It's a theory. I got a lot of theories. Doesn't mean they're all true. Doesn't mean they're all provable, but they're theories, hypothesis. You know, a lot of these things. You know, most of science is still in the theory level, right? Theory of relativity. It's not the law of relativity. Think about that. Now, you don't need to be a scientist to understand what I just said. That sounded kind of condescending. I'm not trying to be that way. Remember, I'm a man with an opinion. I'm also kind of a half a comedian. You know, I say jokes. Don't take me so seriously. That's what I say at the end of the streams. I say, don't take yourself too seriously. But, dude, have fun questioning stuff. People get so hung up on, like, being right. You know, dude, trust me, nothing happens when you're right. You want to be wrong a lot. Because if you're wrong, you can identify where you were wrong, and you can grow and become a stronger person, character, an individual from being wrong. But if you're constantly wrong and you're just brushing it off like you did nothing wrong, trust me, you're going to be in a cycle of hell. And it ain't going to be a fun life. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be miserable to be around. You're not going to have any friends. Your family's going to fucking be annoyed that you're there. And that sucks. It's not a good place to be. I'm there. No, I'm just kidding. See, it's called thinking, guys. You should try it sometime. Just question stuff. It's okay. You know, nothing. It's all right. I've been questioning stuff for months. You know, because I take in a lot of different information. I know when I'm being lied to. I know when somebody's full of shit. I just do. Oh, you're always right, Matt? No. But I know when people, it's easy to spot people who talk and tell you what they think you want to hear, but aren't really speaking honestly about their feelings or thoughts on the subject, because they're scared usually of what you would say or think, because they're anticipating your reaction. Horrible way to live, by the way. Don't anticipate other people's reactions or fears, because you have no fucking idea how somebody's going to interpret something. You could word stuff beautifully and just say all the right things and regurgitate to the letter and be an A+ student, and somebody's going to look at you and go, fuck that guy. Fuck him. Great. Fine. Don't let it affect you. Let go of what other people think. It's awful. You don't believe science? No, I never said that. I'm saying that science lied to me a lot, and now I'm questioning it because I don't like liars. Because I don't lie to you or myself. Nothing wrong with that. That's called a principle. That's called a way of life. That's called I have a boundary. It means I don't take shit. If you're going to lie to me, you can go have fun with that. That's all. I want no part of that. You can do it all day, every day. Lie to yourself, lie to everybody around you. Have fun. Knock yourself out. You're going to be in your own hell. And you did it. So the way out of that hell is to always be honest, I've discovered. Always. Some people like what you say. Some people hate it. It doesn't matter. If we ever want to truly move forward in the society, and this is my opinion, of course. I don't need to preface that, but it is. We have to be honest. You're going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You're going to have talks that you don't want to fucking have, but need to be had. You're going to have to look into shit that you don't want to look into, but you're going to have to in order to get to the next level. Or you're going to be in this delusional bubble and it's not going to be fun. It's going to be just, ugh. And we're already, the bubble pop, guys, if you haven't noticed in the last few months. People are like, no, let's go back to the old ways. Nope, it's over, guys. It's over. So be wary of science and all the praise and accolades because people do that. People really love credentials for some reason. And I'm not saying experience and your achievements in life should just be dismissed as nothing. No, experience is key to a lot of things. I've said this before, like I'm going to talk to people that are experiencing something that I know nothing about. Like I know somebody who can lay concrete really well. I have no idea how to do that. I'm going to go to them for that service, right? Because that's what they do. There's that, you know. But claiming you know what a scientist is talking about because you regurgitated what you heard them say does not make you understand it. Remember that. There's a big difference. And when you're lied to, know and be aware that you're being lied to. And then when the next thing comes out of that person's mouth that you're being lied to, just take it with a grain of salt and be like, I'll take that under advisement, thank you. Even though you have a history of lying over and over again or being dishonest with me, or the world. And when you establish these things, you in your life will then be okay. Science cannot be the new religion, and it is right now. It's become its own religion. It's like its own little group of nerdy guys hanging out. Like, we did it, guys. And Bill Gates is the fucking leader. Bill Gates and Fauci. You know, the captain and the lieutenant. Leading their little tribe. I don't know. That's a theory, too. But people are like, oh, Bill Gates. Bill Gates. You look into Bill Gates. Why don't you go look up and see what his father did? His father was a lobbyist, a lawyer who lobbied for the start of Planned Parenthood, baby murder. That's wonderful stuff. So beneficial to humankind. That was his dad. Okay, look into these things. That is real things that you can look up and trace for yourself, and then you connect the dots. I've already connected my own dots by looking into this stuff and discerning information from a lot of different sources and angles, guys. Not just like, oh, I read the Google #1 article, it must be right. Nope. And it's not like you just come up with these ideas. I don't come up with these conclusions just out of thin air. I've weeded through a lot of stuff. And usually it comes from my own personal life because I'm self-aware of my own shortcomings. And by doing that, I can see when shit's flying at you, you just go, nah, sidestep, and then hit somebody else in the face. They're like, oh my God, I don't do that. That's why I question stuff. I go, especially when you've been lied to. That's all I'm saying. Question it. It's up to you. Not the world, not an institution, not an organization, not a religion, not anything, but to you. Take ownership of your life. Take ownership of your health. Take ownership of your mind, body, and soul. And by doing that, you'll be free of the tyranny that tries to control the world. You'll see it coming, so then you just let it be. Then you can go about your day. Have fun with your family. Live life. Enjoy your kids. Do stuff. Live in the now. Be in those moments, and everything will be okay. I have learned to not trust man as much as I used to. It's not because I'm a paranoid guy. It's just like when you hear these institutions and organizations come clean, and especially the last few months, guys, information that came out, we were flooded with information that was false. Provably nonsense, and people still willingly put on a mask and still do. Like Pritzker, our governor, just came out today and said there's going to be an enforcement. He can't enforce it, number one, guys. Nobody's going to enforce it. The cops for months have been on the side of they're not doing shit. Okay? They know it's bullshit. So, science. Think about this. Here's something fun about science. A lot of people are like, oh my God, I totally believe aliens exist. What if aliens is just another term for demons? Well, that's ridiculous, man. Demons don't exist. If you don't think demons don't exist, why do you think aliens exist, and what is the difference between the two? Honest. Have an honest question. Have fun with yourself. It's fun to do that. It's intriguing. It sparks a little unknown, like tingles of fear, but then it's like also like ooh, a little bit of fun interest. It's not gonna kill you. It'll actually free you, but don't take my word for it. You go do your own research, have a good time with yourself, and let me know how it goes for you. Just be cautious. Be cautious. Question science. Don't pedestal it. Nothing should be pedestaled. I believe a spiritual journey is on you. It's up to you to have your connection with God, higher power, Allah, the universe, nature, whatever it is, but it can't be you. Let that sink into your noodle a little bit. Don't take yourself too seriously, folks.